Hey guys, it's Drummond. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you know whenever I'm posting my next video. So this is probably going to be a little bit more of a controversial video just because when it comes to politics, everyone seems so polarized now. Like one is going to be an extreme Republican while we've got others that are extreme Democrats, and then we've got people who extremely don't care. So this video, I kind of just wanted to talk about the idea of people kind of meeting in the middle. So when it comes to questions that people ask me on my YouTube channel, a lot of people ask me, would you date someone if? So I get a lot of different questions like that. So I figured I would kind of start doing some videos where I kind of talk about those types of questions. So the first one that I wanted to tackle is, would you date a Trump supporter? So I think there is a big difference in someone who is a Trump supporter and someone who voted for Trump because he was the Republican candidate. So for me, I believe that if someone voted for Trump just because most of their values lie within the Republican Party, I think that dating someone in that sense would be all right. Dating someone who supports Donald Trump and his values, I think I would have a little bit harder time getting around that just because when it comes to Donald Trump, him and I really don't have anything in common. And believe me, I am the type of person that tries to give people 1,000 chances to prove that they are someone that I could get along with. And Donald Trump has proven me time and time again that him and I are not similar in any way. I'm the type of person that I have tried to read his books. I listen to his briefings and everything that he does on Twitter, and I just search for something that's just like, maybe there's a part of him that I can agree with. But honestly, when it comes to Donald Trump, we are very different people. So when it comes to dating people, I would say it's all right to date people who vote differently than you. I know that in my family, we are very split. Of course, you can see that I am very Democratic. I was raised with very Republican views, so there are a few views that I am a little bit more leaning towards the right than I am the left. I would say I'm very middle ground just because I'm the type of person that I like to kind of hear both sides of the story and then I kind of pick and choose my own way of thinking. I don't listen to one person and say, okay, that's how I'm going to vote, or this is what I'm going to do because that person said it. I'm the type of person that likes to form my own opinion around the facts that I gather. So when it comes to living in Virginia, and where I'm at, it's very rural Virginia. So for me, I have grown up around nothing but very conservative people. And every once in a while, I would come in contact with liberal people. It wasn't until I got to college that I kind of started meeting people that thought a little bit more like I did. I will say that when it comes to rural areas, when it comes to living in the city, a lot of times our surroundings and the people that are around us form our opinions for us. And it takes people who have very strong wills to kind of look at life and be like, okay, this was what I grew up around and this is what I'm comfortable with, but it's not really the same thing, so I'm going to jump out there and form my own opinion. I know that here in this area, my opinion is something that a lot of people don't agree with, and I've had to learn how to kind of communicate with people who think very differently than I do. And I'll start by saying that some of my favorite people that I work with are actually people who voted for Trump. And when we had conversations, we talked about why they did it, and it was more along the lines of them voting for him because he held the Republican values for the party versus who he is as a person, because a lot of people that I know, including a lot of my family members that voted for him because he was the Republican candidate and not so much because they thought that the things that he said were things that aligned with their values. So something that I've seen a lot of recently is the fact that people just attack each other for voting for one party or the other, and they don't ever really ask about why they voted for that person. I'm the type of person that, because of where I live, I've learned that asking questions is a better way to have a conversation with someone who upfront has different views than you. So when it comes to me finding out that coworkers or family members or friends have voted for Donald Trump or the Republican Party, I've realized that when I start asking why, instead of just getting up in arms and kind of showing them my opinion first, it's a lot easier to communicate with them just because we're starting to see the values behind it. And instead of just seeing Trump supporter, we are actually figuring out why they voted for that person. And I think that's really important because I think a lot of people nowadays say, oh, you voted for Trump, you hate the gay people. Oh, you voted for this person, you hate this. Oh, you voted this way because you don't like guns. And before we even ask why they voted that way, we're just assuming and putting labels on people, which I think is really bad. I'm not really a label person, so for me, any type of label that you put on people and just assume the stereotype about them is kind of something that I try to stay away from. So when it came to the 2016 election, I think I unfriended quite a few people because of how hateful they became when it came to their social media accounts. And honestly, it wasn't just the Trump supporters, it was the Hillary supporters as well. It was the people who voted for a third party. I think when it comes to my ability to accept other people's views, I can do that as long as they are able to communicate with me in a non-hateful way, because as soon as you start getting hateful just because someone has different views than you, that's when you lose the ability to have any type of conversation or relationship with a person. With the 2020 election day getting closer and closer, I think it's really important for us to kind of sit back and educate ourselves on the candidates right now. I think it's really important to make sure that you're not getting your information off of social media, that you're actually watching the debates and listening to what these people stand for, because I feel like a lot of times people vote for someone because of a name instead of what they actually stand for. And a lot of times now, because social media and fake news, I think a lot of people are actually getting false information, and that's causing them to vote for someone. And then they later find out that the reason they voted for the candidate isn't actually based upon facts. I know that I've had some conversations already this year with some people that got pretty heated just because they weren't able to see anything from my perspective. And when it comes to me talking, I'm a very open-minded person. And then you've got some people who are just very supportive of one candidate and they just want to trash talk everyone else. And when it came to the primaries, I just wanted to make it very clear that we didn't want to trash talk any of our party members in the Democratic Party, because that person might end up being our Democratic Party leader. And when it comes to trash talking people, a lot of times when it comes to our votes, a lot of people aren't going out and voting because they just believe that the political system is so corrupt that no matter who they vote for, it's just going to be a bad decision. So I've always been the type of person to encourage people to pump up their candidate and tell the world what they think is great about that person, and then just leave all the shit talking out of the social media, because we don't want people to get to the point where they're just not going out and voting because they don't believe in any of the candidates that are on the ballot. I know right now we're dealing with this pandemic here in the United States, and it's something that's being dealt with across the world, and we're watching our leaders and how they are handling this situation. So that's going to have a huge effect on the way that we vote in November when the 2020 elections come around. I know for me, it's something that I've been watching a lot in the news recently, how the government is kind of responding to this whole coronavirus pandemic, just because I know that their choices are going to affect me as a citizen and affect everyone kind of worldwide, just because if one country does one thing and another country does something else, it does have a ripple effect of affecting how we operate worldwide. So it's definitely something that you should be focusing on now that you're kind of sitting at home and working remotely, or if you're on the front lines working as a doctor or in any of the essential businesses. So it's definitely something that you want to keep track of right now, because elections are coming up and we do want to make sure that we're voting for people that hold the same values as us. I know for me personally, I've always just wished that instead of putting a candidate's name on the ballots, that they just kind of put a list of values and then just have people kind of check off, hey, this is my value, hey, this is what I believe in. And then at the end, it's like, surprise, you voted for this person. Just because I feel like nowadays it's kind of become a popularity contest, and I don't think people put enough research into who they vote for, which I think can be a huge mistake, just because a lot of times you might be voting for someone that has zero values as you. You're just voting for them because the people around you are telling you that that's the person you should vote for. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too political for you. I love getting your feedback, so please leave some comments in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on all my other social medias. I've got those listed down below. I've got Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Still haven't gotten to TikTok, but I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.